sure, you could get two companies together where everybody knows a million different people, but where you're going to end up in is, sort of a state of waiting to scratch the other's back instead of putting a relationship together.
Hey everyone, got here Joshua Schure, and again, we're just going to get into it. Okay, a franchise brand at a certain scale should really hire this like vendor manager.
For those that are looking to manage a channel, strategic partnerships is absolutely critical. But I believe that for the most part, strategic partnerships aren't thought out and operated as strategic partnerships. It's almost going after the most attractive person in the room. There's a big difference between, level of attractiveness and, the substance behind a person. Like attractiveness is great. Substance is what's going to carry a relationship, right? So sure, you could get two companies together where everybody knows a million different people, but where you're going to end up in is, sort of a state of one waiting to scratch the other's back instead of putting a relationship together where it's, how does what I'm doing or my company's solution, our way of going about things, how does it align with this potential strategic partnership? Does bringing us in make them stronger? Does them bringing us in make us stronger? Right. So that's how I would address what's going on in the partnership marketplace with, with a bunch of the companies that are out there in the franchise space. Are they doing it correctly? And the other is this vendor relationship that you're talking about. Right? At the franchisor level, even if you're trying to get everything under one roof, consolidate and get it down to one vendor, it's basically impossible. You're going to have to work with a series of different vendors. And whereas there's been this movement to try and limit the number of vendors, is that the most efficient, prudent path forward for your network enterprise, for your franchise? Because you should bring in a different vendor if they're the best at what they do, even if it's another relationship to manage. To offer your network business and your franchisees best in class, it is worth the investment to potentially create a position for there to be a director or head of vendor relationships, right? That way, whether it's one, whether it's 21, whether it's 101, you have someone managing those relationships, which I believe the most important parts is making sure that one, again, that solution is best in class and there's serious value levers that you could pull for your business. The second is that whatever the solution is being utilized by the network. Doesn't matter if you've rolled out the greatest thing since sliced bread. If nobody's using it, it literally has no value. And then last but not least is that it's financially feasible for the network, let alone you're on the best possible agreement from a commercial standpoint with these partners. In the franchise space, a lot of business is done with people whom they want to be working with. It's got to be a combination of two, that and the value of the solution. And ultimately, if you have one person that is dedicated towards managing these relationships and nurturing these relationships, I just believe you're putting yourself on the path to have the best partners, the best tech stack, and all that other stuff. And in terms of opportunity cost, replacement cost, in doing so, you're also able to save all of your other executives serious time instead of allocating their time and those resources towards working on or with that vendor that's in their lane. Sure, they could be a part of the process, but how do you take time off their plate for that so that they could focus on the things that are, even more critical to the business, assuming that that's a well-oiled machine, i.e. working more with the franchise business coaches to ensure that they understand all of these solutions that are being utilized by the network and that they are actually being used.